Okay, my name is Winston Vermeyer. I'm going to be working at the Swedish Kitchen for the second year this year. My kitchen name, for those of you who are going to London, is R. And I'm going to show you how to tear down the slicer in order to safely clean it. First things we need to do is make sure that we turn the slicer off. You'll push that button in, make sure there's no light on, and then we're going to unplug it. And for those kitchen helpers that are under 18, you don't have to worry about this, since the state of Minnesota requires you to be at least 18 to use a power tool. Once we've done that, we're going to go ahead, just quick wipe down the tray here. Get any remnants off here before we take it off and send it off to the Hobart for sanitization and cleaning. This is where you'd be placing your cheeses to be sliced or your meats to be sliced. And after we've done all of that, normally if you're doing a meat tray or a cheese tray, you would sanitize it in between, but now that we're done with it, we're going to actually take it apart and send this and the blade cover off to the Hobart for sanitization. So this screw, pull this out, and that will go off to our Hobart. Next thing, you're going to wash down the tray here, make sure there are no remnants left on there, and then we'll hit it with the sanitizer after everything's all done. And we are going to go ahead and take off our cover blade. And there again, you want to make sure there aren't any remnants, and this will also go off to the Hobart for sanitization. Now, the really important part about the slicer is this is the blade. We don't want any of our kitchen helpers or cooks or anything like that to get themselves cut on here, and we definitely don't want to be serving any human parts to our campers. So when we clean this blade, you want to make sure that you clean from the inside out in order to avoid getting yourself cut on that blade. It also avoids cutting your rags on the blade and contaminating the food with non-food particles. Once you've gotten everything on this side of the blade cleaned off, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. And we're going to take that blade, once again, we're going to clean from the inside out. I'm going to rotate it, make sure that entire blade gets cleaned. But we don't want to push that way against the blade because you will cut yourself, or you will cut your rags or whatever you're using to clean. Once the blade has been cleaned, then we have to clean up the other areas where we're going to get remnants. One of the easiest places that a lot of people forget is right here, underneath the blade, and right behind the blade. So you want to make sure that those areas are well cleaned, and once again we'll hit everything with a sanitizer once everything is done. Then we're going to reach in through the trough where your product is going to come down after it's been sliced, make sure all that has been cleaned up. Be aware that the blade is there, so you still have to be careful not to cut yourself. And we also want to clean back here behind the slicer and the wall, because you are going to get remnants up here on the wall as well. And we really don't want to have remnants anywhere around. We want to avoid getting rats and other things in our kitchen at all costs. So once we've done all that, hit it with the sanitizer, we've gotten our parts back to the Hobart. And we just have to go ahead and put it back together. We're going to put the blade cover in, put 2 indents on the screw heads, and then we're going to turn the knob here to cinch it back down into place. Once that is in, make sure that we're still zeroed, and we're going to put our tray back. And the tray just slides in like so. Right in that trough, there's your screw, and that's going to tighten it down. Now make sure that's all tightened down so the next person who uses this doesn't find that it's wobbly when they start to cut their meats or their cheeses. One last thing that we do before we put this away is we would hit it with a sanitizer, make sure everything's been cleaned off and sanitized. And that is the proper way of cleaning a meat and cheese slicer.